Hello everyone, welcome to the Apigee demonstration. We'll go through about the Apigee platform and what are topics we are going to cover during the course of my profile. Overall, I have 12 years of experience. I was one of the first people who started working on Apigee platform from the time of its inception. So I'm having around 9 years of Apigee experience. During the course of my work on Apigee, I have covered more than 100 Apigee implementations for various clients from various domains like payment, banking, finance, insurance, telecom, healthcare, across all the domains. I'm also a Google Cloud authorized Apigee trainer. So I have also provided training from Google Cloud Office for anyone who would want to understand the Apigee platform. I provided training on both development and operations part of it. So that's a bit about me. Now moving to the for which we are here, which is the course curriculum. During the course, first thing we will start with the history. So we will see what exactly is a digital disruption and why at all do we need an API management platform. Then we will understand the concepts of API management. We will go through the fundamentals of RESTful design, which is the very basic of any API platform, not just for API, but any API management platform or even the standard API development. The base remains same. So we'll understand the REST, we'll understand the difference between SOAP and REST, and which is the best practice, how to use that. We will then move to APG Edge overview, and we'll see how API proxy is consisted of. We will cover the anatomy of the proxy. We will then see how do we enroll and get access to Apigee platform. For that, we will use the Apigee trial account, and which is completely based out of cloud, so you don't much of installation. And then we will see how do we manage developer. And then we any questions, any queries on this process, answer that. After that, the next thing will be to understand the basic terms, technologies for the API, proxy patterns, and we will see APG Edge mediation policies. And after that, we'll do some lab sessions. So we'll have a sample API proxy in APG. We will attach some policy of XML to JSON, and then we will see assign message expect variable policy, which is one of the most common use cases you will find even in the real life projects. And then we will see some KVM policies. We will understand the KVM concept and all. Then there will be a lot more labs. So XSLT mediation, conditions, route rules, shared flows, analytics logging, Java and Python integration, and then Open API implementation. There will be a lot of labs. As you can see, the course is designed more on a practical oriented, so you understand the things by doing it yourself, get your hands dirty, you face the problem, you resolve it. That way you will remember things in a lot better way rather than just going through some slides and all. Then next will be the concept of API product. What exactly is an API product? How do you create API product, developers and developer app? And then we will see it by hands on with the lab. After doing that, then the most important section of the whole training program, that is the API security. That is one of the strengths of Apigee. Apigee has a lot of policies related to that, and also it is very much compliant with all the latest API security frameworks and protocols. So we'll see the JSON thread protection, regular expression protection, access control policy, API key and quota, basic authentication, and then we will learn and use OAuth 2 and various grants type of OAuth 2, because that is OAuth 2 and API key is like one of the least required things that you have to do during any Apigee. So and Apigee has quite a good support for all of them, and we will learn during the course of the training, along with the other policies which are available in Apigee, but these are the policies not available on some other API management platform. We'll see how to use that, and then we will do the proxy from SOAP to REST conversion, which is a very standard use case of Apigee. You will come across a lot if you are going to work on Apigee. SOAP to REST conversion and vice versa. There will be a lot of use cases around that, and we'll see that. We will see how do we attach a spike REST policy, then understand the concept of caching. We will see the various cache policies which are there and how to use them, and then we will see some customization on the policy, and then we will see the reset quota policy using which you can reset the quota limit, and then we will cover Apigee extension policies. Extensions is basically, it is not a by default product feature, but you can still use that based on certain use cases. We will learn the concept of service callout, how you can do the mashup, how you can do orchestration, how you can pass the response using JavaScript, and we will also cover some basics on JavaScript during that. And then we will see the Node.js integration. One of the USPs of Apigee is that it has a very good integration with Node.js. Node.js, as you might be aware, one of the most popular API development frameworks So you can build all the APIs quickly with Node.js. So we will cover that as well, and then we will cover things like custom error and how do you handle various faults on Apigee, and then we will see how do you define fault tool, how you handle all the error basically with lab example, and then we will cover the Swagger specification for API. What exactly is Swagger? How you define the specification for Swagger? What are the use cases and how Swagger fits in with your old API program, and how Swagger can be easily embedded into Apigee, and how you can publish the Swagger specs on Apigee developer portal. We will see the developer portal and Apigee developer services, how it is integrated. We will see some packaging and deployment of Apigee, and then we will see the lab of the same thing with CI/CD and various other tools which are used in Apigee. We will even cover that. So for any enterprise, how do you release the APIs from one environment to other? How you do the auto deployments and all those stuff. So we will cover all this. So that's a brief about the course content. During that, as you can see, there will be a lot of lab, and our, as I had mentioned before, our main focus will be less on theory, more on practical. So that you understand the concept. That way we'll go, and I will be available to at any time provide any kind of help if that happens. And now, so for today, we will just quickly go and understand overview of the Apigee Edge platform. What is the problem that any enterprise faces as of now? What exactly and is the connected digital experience, and how you can speed up the innovation with Apigee? So that will be the some of the basics that we cover today. So the problem, as we just discussed right now, as you can see, for any enterprise, they will have different backend systems. You can see CRM, ERP, SOA, database, and all those different tons of systems. And then there will be a ESP or integration layer to enable each other to talk and transfer data, communicate very well, and all those stuff. Now the problem is that in case of these systems, if you are planning for a change, you want to introduce a new feature or bring something new, it takes a very long time. They will have their own setup, rules, process, and everything, development model, and everything. And if by the time you bring the change to market, there are good chances that some other small company or your competitor would have already brought that. So on the enterprise level, the change cycle takes years. And nowadays, as we know, there are like n number of smart devices. Even mobile and tabs are not just new things. We have smart watches, smart home appliances, smart fridge, smart refrigerator, smart cars. Everything, all your equipments are becoming smart, and there are new innovative apps which are coming into the market day by day. And for them, the change cycle is within just days. They don't even wait for up to months and all those stuff. They simply bring some solution, they bring it to market. And there can be a lot of stakeholders which are your consumers. It can be like your end customers. It can be your own employees which are using your internal system. Or there can be partner systems which can transfer data to your system and vice versa. As you can see, there is a big gap, and your current setup of your software, hardware, all the whole IT is not able to adapt to all the changes. The speed of that is one of the big problems that major enterprise face. If you want to make your features available to the market, right? So all these new things that you already have a lot of data, a lot of information. You want to make sure all these various appliances, various kind of devices, various kind of users should be able to easily utilize the data, consume it, build all the awesome app, make it to millions of users and everything. Then there are few things that you need to know. First will be the security. Security obviously is the most important aspect. If you are exposing your internal system for wider consumption, security obviously is the paramount importance. Next is the scalability. Obviously, you don't know which product can explode to the market very quickly. So right now you might be having 1,000 consumers, it can become million just few days. It's so good and popular. So using all those things can be things should be your system should be able to scale up to cater to the demands of the consumers. Then you should be able to manage which all the endpoints or which are the URLs that you want to expose, and how other systems should be able to consume, and they also get a consistent activity. So there is a lot of API management activities involved, exposing, decommissioning, new versions, and all those stuff. So a lot of things should be in place. And obviously, another important aspect is analyzing, which is quite underrated sometimes, but it is very important, because how do you determine success or failure of your API program or your whole digital ecosystem per se? Because this layer, which is there will be, if there is a layer which is going to be common, for all the consumer systems and all the backend systems, then only that can serve as a single source of truth. So you will know what uh, is the rate of the transfer of data, what is the success failure, who is calling, from which location who is calling, which are the backend system which are getting called a lot, which are the backend system which are fast, which are slow. There can be a number of data for various stakeholders, even for a senior management. So that data which is captured here can be provided as a evidence to your senior management, and then it will help you determine your future strategy of your whole digital farm. So this section becomes quite important, and also a proper connected experience, so that all of the systems, regardless of the which platform, it can be a smart car app, it can be a traditional website, it can be internal call center app, and any kind of application should be able to get the data which is consistent. So it should not be that your users are getting some other information on the website, but your employees on their call center app are not getting that, and it might lead to some bad blood or result in the loss of goodwill. So it is very important to provide a connected experience so that everyone will get the latest information. So this is where Apigee Edge comes into picture. So Apigee Edge takes care of all these requirements. As you can see, none of these requirements are functional. So these are all the non-functional requirements whenever you want to expose something to the outside world for consumption. So to this exposure layer, as we often say that, in the exposure layer, Apigee has all the features out which will satisfy all the needs, and you can, without any problem, you can expose your internal systems as an API to outer world. So Apigee Edge, by design, this product is distributed. So it is always in a high availability mode, so that your mission critical data or mission critical system will be always up, regardless of what happens if one of the machine goes down. Apigee will make sure of that. You can easily scale up and scale down. Apigee has a very nice way of, and very easily you can scale up, scale down as and when you need. And obviously, all these things, if you develop as a custom development, if you go for custom development, these might take, as we discussed, can get for years or whatever. And that way, the time to market, the term which we use, time to market of the feature is very high. And with Apigee, you can bring the concept into the market in a very low time frame. So within few weeks, you can get it some available, and that way other consumers can build their innovative apps. So the speed of innovation improves very greatly. So that way, Apigee will help you do all this. That was a problem that we faced, and that is why Apigee comes into picture and solve. So Apigee will make sure any feature which you have as an enterprise and you want to make it available not just to some third party, but even for your own internal developers or partner systems or whatever. Apigee Edge will make sure that can bring those things into the live environment very quickly without much of the work. And this is where Apigee Edge is quite useful. It has a lot of features. Over the course of the training, we'll study those features a lot more, and we will learn by doing the examples. So this is the connected digital experience that Apigee provides. Just to give an overall introduction or high level introduction of the code that we will do, the first thing we will do is we'll understand the basics of API management. What exactly is the API management? What is the need of that? What are the things which come as a part of the API management? What is the API lifecycle? How do you manage the whole API lifecycle? If you are having an API program or any digital ecosystem or digital transformation, how do you manage the lifecycle of an API? We will study the REST design principle and best practices, which is the very basic of any API platform that you will use. Then we will understand the Apigee platform. What are the features, all the USPs it has over its competitors, and why is it that popular? And then we will follow the hands-on approach for learning. We will do a lot of labs. So idea will be we will have the theory obviously to understand the concept, but we do a lot of practice so that you understand, and that is what you will aim for, so that you do the things by yourself, and that way you will get more confidence as well. And we will see how you implement API security in Apigee. What are the API security policies? What are the recommendations that we do? How do you do custom coding? So Apigee has the support for Java. He also has support for Python and JavaScript. We'll go through those. We'll understand how easily you can embed the custom code and all. And there is another important aspect, which is the developer portal. And with the developer portal, Apigee has a developer services which will help a consumer developer basically to easily consume APGs by looking at the documentation and everything. So how this whole overall publishing of API works in Apigee, how do you do all of them? And then we will also see the CI/CD, which is very important aspect when you are implementing Apigee in an environment of an enterprise. So we cover that as well, and we will try to do a labs as well on that with Maven and all. And then obviously after end of this thing, we will also do some more. We will do more focus on the APG certification. During the whole course of training itself, I will provide all the information, all the pointers, all the tips and tricks, and which I will hope you will make note of. And at the end also, we will try to do some sample which are from the real APG certification exam. So it will help you prepare, and then accordingly you can plan for certification. So APG has quite APG is right now it is the number one in terms of API management platforms across the globe. It has a lot of Fortune 500 clients, lot of big corporates are using APG. And after acquisition of Google Cloud, it has even grown leaps and bounds into the market because of the Google brand and all. So all these enterprises they got APG, and there is a very large customer base for APG because it is one of the most feature rich API platforms in the market. So there are n number of things, but as of now APG is at the top, and it has a very bright future. A lot of the APG clients are having 5 year kind of license deals, and they renew for 5 years and all those stuff. Many I am aware of. I am working from last 9 years on the platform. I have seen many of them going for 5 year license and even planning for this, because obviously the digital transformation, digital ecosystem, these things take time, and many of the enterprises are still at that phase where they are. Some of them are already into that implementation phase. Some of them are planning and planning for many years. So they have a roadmap of APG has quite a great future with that, and also new enhancements in APG every time they build new features and all. It even goes to the implementation of API and microservices based architecture. For example, newly it has provided support for service mesh and all those stuff. And there is also Gartner report, if you would like to see. In Gartner report, APG is like number one in overall the feature and also in the vision. Both of them, APG is like the top in the market. There are other related to IBM. There is a layer 7. There is MuleSoft, and all those things are there. But APG as an API gateway or API management gateway still retains the top spot, and it has a quite a future in the market as well. And there is a quite a huge growing demand for APG certified. And all the big companies and even the big enterprises, big IT companies, and not core IT but still big enterprises, all of them are looking for highly skilled APG professionals, and so it has quite a huge demand in the market. For APG, previously there were two certifications. Now there is only one, which is APG certified API engineer. So whether you are from operations or development or architecture, whatever, that is the only certifications available. But it covers quite a good area in the API. So it's not only in that certification, not only based on APG, but it covers things like your standard API design, all the tools and tools and technologies which are used with APG, even agile, how you implement APIs in agile model, everything. So it has quite a good coverage. So that certification is very highly recommended and respected, not just for APG, but even if you do the certification, you will understand the concept of the whole API ecosystem in a pretty good way. So it will even enable you, if you want to learn some other technology or something, the concept, a lot of them remain same. So it will help you. So this certification is quite a good. There will be like 100 questions. You have to score 70 marks out of that, and I will provide you all the questions. I have done APG certification 2 times. So my recent certification was done just in a month of June itself. So I'm well aware of the questions and all that they ask, and I have designed some practice and sample questions as per that, which will help you at the end of the training. I will provide you, and you can try it yourself, and it will help you understand the whole exam and help you clear that as well. By end of this training session, I will make sure that you are ready for the certification process. So that enhances your CV. I emphasized previously, we are going to have a lot of labs. So for the lab, we are going to use Apigee Cloud account, Cloud Trial account. Due to some limitations from the Apigee Cloud Trial account, there might be some topics which might not do the lab on, but all the things which Apigee Cloud Trial account supports, we do have most of them in the lab, so that we get a hands-on experience, and all the other requirements of required software. So for testing, we will use Postman, and for CI/CD, we might use Maven and all. So all of them are free, and it should not be a problem as long as you have a good internet connectivity, a browser, and your laptop and all those stuff should not be a problem. It is very easy and straightforward. I will also, there is APG also has a good repo for their own samples. There are a lot of code samples and all that are there and all. I will share all the required links with you so that you can later on refer that as well. And during the lab, we will cover most of the real life, more than 90% of the real project covered during the lab, so that whenever you are going to work as an APG professional, most of the time you will be aware of it, help you to design the solution based on the APG capability. So we will provide you session videos, we'll provide you documentation, all the references with some sample resume specific to APG and guidance on the enhancement of your resume. By end of this training, aim will be you are well versed with API concepts, APG concepts, and you are API specialist and architect, and have an idea about the solution in architecture using APG. So any questions, any doubt, you can feel free to ask me. So that's all for today's demo session. Any questions, any queries, please.